ever since my last video, I realized that I talked a lot about, God healing you and putting you back together after you've made these decisions. But I wanted to share with you an analogy that God gave me years back before I even went through this season. God always prepares you and he shows you, what's going to happen. And so he'd given me this analogy that his love for us is just like parents who tell their kids not to play in the street. Every parent has had to tell their kid not to play in the street. They're just drawn to it. I don't know. So he tells you, hey, don't play in the street because he wants you to be safe. You tell your kids don't go in the street because you don't want them to get hit by a bus, not because you're trying to ruin their fun. But if they turn around and do it anyways and then get hit by a bus, you don't just stand there and go, told you not to do it, right? No. As a parent, if your kid runs out in the street and gets hit by a bus, you run out there and you call 911 and you pick them up and you start, trying to fix them and do whatever you can to make them feel better. And that one story, that mom picked up a whole bus off of her kid. I mean, that's the kind of things parents do when their kids are in trouble. And God showed me that's what he's like, and he gives us these rules and these guidelines and these things that he doesn't want us to do, not for his benefit. He doesn't gain anything by us doing, following what he said. We do. We're the ones who are saved from being hit by a bus. But if we choose to go out there and do it anyways, if God says, hey, don't hook up with people before marriage, he's trying to save us heartache and soul ties and potential pregnancies or STDs or whatever else may happen. And so, but if you choose to go out and do it anyways, well, he's going to be there and he's going to try and patch you up and he's going to try and fix you, but you're going to end up going through a lot of stuff you didn't have to go through. And so I tried to learn how to be sensitive to that, how to know that when God is directing me in a certain area, or when God shows me some scriptures of things that I need to change in my life, or especially if somebody who's in leadership over me that I trust to have my best interest at heart comes and tells me things, I try to be really sensitive to that, because there was a season when I wasn't, and I ended up in a lot of situations that could have been avoided. And the longer the time goes, the more that I see the different times God made ways for me. The Bible says he'll always provide a way of escape. And how many times God had sent people to talk to me or to try and encourage me, or, things that like a song maybe on the radio that would say kind of what I needed to hear. But instead of taking those escapes that God was providing, I just kind of barreled through and made my own decisions and then ended up basically getting hit by a bus. And so every time something comes up in my life now, I try to be real sensitive to be like, okay, is this what I would do to my kid? If my kid was doing this and I said, hey, don't, is that, and that's kind of how I can judge if it's really, God's trying to protect me from these situations. And then that just saves so much heartache and so much grief and so much time of, you would like to just be playing all day outside playing, but if you get hit by a bus, you're probably going to be in the hospital for a while. And, then you're going to miss out on all the fun and all the playing because you're going to be stuck in a hospital trying to fix yourself. And I just wanted to share that with you, and I hope that it encourages you, because there's so much to do. There's so much to accomplish. There's so many things that God has for us. And, from everything that I've learned, going through everything I've been through, I would like to spend all of my time doing the fun stuff that God has for me, and doing my destiny and going after God and getting to use my gifts and my calling and all of that, instead of spending a bunch of time, laid up in a hospital trying to put myself back together for bad decisions that I made, due to being deceived or whatever it was that caused it. So I just wanted to share that, and I hope that it encourages you. And if you have any questions or any prayer requests or, anything that you would like for me to talk about, just comment, message me, let me know, and I'll see if I can cover it.